Hi everybody, Raven1381 here to discuss with you guys using Strafe. I wanted to kind of dispel some of the myths out there about what stats are good and are not good to be using with Strafe. First off, commonly people say that attack speed is bad for Strafe. You can see here I have 2.64 attacks per second at this time. Second thing people are always saying is you need to have a lot of crit hit chance. I have 46% chance right here, and I'm really comfortable with it. More would be great. I could get rid of a little bit of this and still function okay. People often say that you need to have a lot of max discipline. I have 38 here, and you do need a little bit. 8's enough. 16, having, 45, 46 discipline is fantastic if you can get it, but it's really not necessary. You can see here, my crit hit damage is pretty low. It's 205%. It's because I'm not using my mana core. I'm instead using a wind force. And that would be because I'm using Sentry. The higher base damage on the wind force makes the Sentry hit a lot harder. A lot of my damage is coming from Sentry, especially because I'm using the custom engineering passive. Elite battles at 200k DPS in pt1 take about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 or 4 if they're extra health, shielded, difficult affixes. So I have plenty of time to drop 3 turrets on the ground. That's 24 seconds to get set up to come to full DPS. So that actually works out better in my favor once I have all 3 sentries up over steady aim or archery as a DPS passive. Also, it increases the duration of both my sentry and my caltrops. It doubles the duration. So you can think of it as you get twice as much damage for the same casting cost, or reduced casting cost. This really helps a lot with discipline management, having enough discipline to put 5, 6 caltrops out. Also having enough left over to have smokescreen available. Now most guys are using shadow power. I actually prefer running without it. I like smokescreen. In this build I'm using choking gas, not just for the damage but also for the proc that it provides. Kind of synergizes with the wind force here. You can see I have the bat for my companion. Sometimes I run ferrets. I use the boar in hardcore, but as you can see, my life is 56k. My stats are, I've got enough AR and enough armor, but my health is a little bit low here. So the boar tends to die rather quickly in MP10. Now you can see here I am kind of tanky, around 500 all resists. I've got 4.4k armor. I am using Perfectionist. Helps keep discipline down, helps keep AR, my mitigation's higher, 10%. I got 10% more life. If I had more base health, I would probably be using Brooding instead. Now you can see crowd control from the Innas. Melee damage reduction. This stat is really underrated. I have it on my boots, and I have it on my amulet as well. Life per second. I actually have that on my cloak. And, well, looky there. I have a cloak that does a little bit more damage, has much better protection, a little bit less life, but I'm using the one that has regen on it. Again, here's one. Less damage because of the gemming. I put the Vite gems in there for something else I was doing. But roughly equivalent on the damage. Actually, it would be a little bit more damage than the cloak I'm wearing. Less life, more resistances, and max discipline as well. But again, I actually really like the regen on my cloak. Highly underutilized stat. You can see here I'm using only attack speed, crit damage, average damage on this ring. I have this other lovely trifecta ring. Has almost as much crit damage, same dex, a little bit less protection, less life. I don't care about that. It's the average damage on there. Again, for the century. These lovely boots provided to me by a CM Wiz. Great dex on there. I hope to re-roll that into Vite someday. Here's where my 8 discipline comes from. I put it on my quiver. Now, arguably, I could get more dex on a quiver. I could get a socketed one. A lot of ways I could go here. It's a great slot. It's enough damage. My Innis pants I've slotted for Vital. My belt, I could get more damage out of it, but I like the EHP of having both AR and armor on that slot. And, you know, honestly, I have a witching hour. Look at this, it says 10k. When I put it on, it's only like 2. Again, I've got these lacunis here that I could put on, but I'm using the dex over the attack speed for the damage on my sentries. It works out in my favor. These pieces are used in my mana core swap. Put in my mana core and the lacunis and the witching hour. Now I have 2.3 attacks per second. I really wish I could get higher, but then again, for a mana core, this is pretty gosh darn good. But I'm not here to play with my mana core right now. That's more of my party build, because a lot of people don't like the knockback in their party. CM Wizzes despise it, Glass Cannon DHs, the Steppers, this build will knock stuff into them. If you're running with a Cyclone Monk, they'll love you. If you're really skilled and you can play around the knockback, you can make it work with the other classes, but it's not easy. So here we go. We are in pt1. And you know what? We doing an Act 1. Let's go to Act 3. And all the other stuff. Make sure all my setup's right. Jump right in here to Keeps 2, where things hit kinda hard. Get closed in on you. Notice I'm not using Strafe a whole lot. Okay, I'm kind of messing up here, guys. Now notice how the knockback works. Choking gas. Escape. Move back. Just enough. Refill some discipline. Escape. Run, 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 run. Didn't see those guys until it was late.